Everyone tells you the same thing. Cut them off. Remove toxic people from your life. Set the boundary and never look back. And on the surface, that advice sounds completely reasonable. But here is what nobody talks about. Some of the most emotionally intelligent people in the world do not cut toxic people off, at least not in the way everyone assumes they should. And their reasons are more sophisticated than most people are ready to hear. This is not a defense of toxic behavior. It is not an argument for staying in situations that are genuinely damaging. It is an honest look at why intelligent people, specifically people with high emotional awareness and deep self-knowledge, often make a different choice than the one social media is constantly telling them to make. And once you understand their reasoning, the simple advice to just cut people off starts to look a lot less simple. The first reason is that intelligent people understand the difference between a toxic situation and a toxic person. Most people treat these as identical. They are not. A person behaving toxically is not always a permanently toxic person. They may be responding to stress, unresolved trauma, or circumstances that are distorting behavior that is not representative of who they fundamentally are. Cutting off a person who is behaving badly in a specific season of their life without that distinction means sometimes permanently ending relationships with people who were genuinely worth keeping. The second reason is that intelligent people recognize that avoidance is not always strength. Cutting someone off can be the right decision. It can also be the easier decision disguised as the brave one. Sometimes the genuinely difficult, genuinely courageous thing is to stay in a hard relationship and navigate it with skill, to have the conversation that most people would rather avoid, to hold a boundary without needing to disappear. Emotional intelligence means knowing which situation you are actually in, not applying the same solution to every difficult relationship, because it is the one that requires the least discomfort. The third reason is perhaps the most counterintuitive. Intelligent people understand that removing someone from your life does not automatically remove their influence from your psychology. If you cut off a person before doing the internal work of understanding what the relationship revealed about you, why you stayed, what needs it was meeting, what patterns it was activating, you take all of that unresolved material with you. And it shows up again, in the next relationship, in the same dynamics with different people. Cutting someone off without doing that work is not a fresh start. It is a relocation of the same story. The fourth reason is that intelligent people factor in complexity that the cut them off advice ignores. Family relationships, long histories, shared children, professional entanglements, financial realities. The advice to simply cut toxic people off treats relationships as if they exist in a clean, frictionless social environment where everyone has equal freedom to simply walk away. Most people do not live there. Intelligent people find ways to manage difficult relationships strategically, protecting their own peace and maintaining their own values without requiring a clean break that may not be realistic. The fifth reason is that intelligent people have developed a specific skill that makes cutting off less necessary. The ability to stay present in a relationship without being controlled by it. To remain connected to someone while refusing to absorb their toxicity. To engage without being destabilized. This is not a skill most people have. But for those who do, it means the choice is not binary. It is not stay and suffer or leave and be free. There are other options, and those options sometimes preserve relationships that, under better circumstances, were genuinely valuable. Here is what connects all 5 of these reasons. Emotional intelligence is not about having the perfect exit strategy for every difficult relationship. It is about understanding yourself and your relationships deeply enough to know which situation actually calls for what response. And that requires a level of nuance that a 4-word piece of advice cannot possibly contain. Here is the deep truth worth sitting with. The question is never just whether someone is toxic. The real question is what staying, leaving, or something in between would actually do for the person you are trying to become. So here is the question worth sitting with today. Is there someone in your life that you have been thinking about cutting off? And if you are being completely honest, is the reason about your growth or your comfort?